I signed those divorce papers like I was signing a grocery receipt. Calm, collected, final. Marcus sat frozen across the mahogany table, his expensive suit suddenly looking cheap under the fluorescent lights. His attorney, Mr. Peterson, whispered urgently in his ear, but Marcus heard nothing. He was too busy staring at me like I'd grown a second head. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. For him to finally see the stranger he'd created. 3 years ago I would have died for this man. We met at Sarah's lake house during that golden summer when everything felt possible. Marcus made me laugh while we prepared dinner together, tears streaming down my face from the onions he was butchering. "You have mysterious eyes, Elena," he'd said, brushing away a tear. "Like you've seen the world's secrets." I thought he truly saw me then. Really saw me. 6 months later, he proposed during a spectacular thunderstorm on that same lake house dock. Lightning split the sky as he dropped to one knee, rain soaking us both. I screamed, "Yes," before he finished his speech, and we danced in the storm like two people drunk on forever. I didn't know then that men like Marcus don't fall in love. They study, adapt, and perform until you stop paying attention. Then they vanish piece by piece. It began subtly. Late-night emergency meetings that couldn't wait until morning. Business trips to cities that changed in his stories. His phone developed a password. Dinner conversations died mid-sentence, and he started smiling at messages he'd never share. The touching stopped, but the performance continued. That's what haunted me most. The elaborate charade while our marriage rotted from within. The breaking point came on a Tuesday. Marcus returned from Chicago, but his luggage tag clearly read Denver. When I mentioned it, he laughed, too loud, too long, too desperate. That laugh echoed in my head for hours. That night I stopped asking questions and started collecting evidence. 2 days later, I installed the surveillance system. Professional-grade cameras hidden in smoke detectors, picture frames, even the decorative vase by our front door. Marcus, brilliant businessman that he was, never noticed his loving wife had become a private investigator. I cooked his favorite meals, kissed him goodbye, played the devoted spouse while secretly documenting his betrayal. 4 sleepless days of watching footage, and then I saw her. Victoria Caldwell, his business partner's wife, the same woman who'd complimented my dress at the company Christmas party. She arrived at 3 p.m. on a Thursday while Marcus told me he had back-to-back conference calls. Red lipstick, black dress, zero conscience. They moved together like rehearsed dancers on our living room sofa. The same couch we'd chosen together at that antique market. The same rug where I used to read on lazy Sundays. Watching that footage twice was necessary. The first time for shock, the second for strategy. I copied everything to multiple drives, then sat down with coffee and created my master plan. Phase 1. Financial security. Marcus had secretly opened a private account, using my maiden name Rodriguez as the security question. The arrogance was breathtaking. I legally transferred half our assets to my personal account, keeping every receipt, every document. Phase 2. Legal warfare. I hired Rebecca Stone, Marcus's college roommate's ex-wife, the same woman he'd called a ruthless shark after their messy divorce. Rebecca was thrilled to sink her teeth into another unfaithful husband. Phase 3. Strategic silence. I kissed Marcus goodbye before his next business trip, told him to stay safe. He kissed my forehead and promised, "Always beautiful." Even the hidden camera captured his Oscar-worthy performance. Marcus was gone 5 days. On the 6th, he walked into darkness. No lights, no dinner, no warmth. Just me sitting at our dining table with the television remote in my hand. He paused, confused by the scene, then I pressed play. The footage was crystal clear. Marcus and Victoria, hands everywhere, her breathless laughter, his satisfied grin. The timestamp glowed accusingly in the corner. Marcus turned to me, all color drained from his face, mouth opening and closing like a fish gasping for air. "Why?" he whispered. I tilted my head thoughtfully. "Why show you, or why do I know?" Silence stretched between us like a bridge on fire. I stood gracefully and handed him a manila envelope. Inside, divorce papers, our prenup, which I'd cleverly updated last year, and copies of every piece of evidence. His hand shook violently. Mine remained steady as stone. "Elena, please. You don't have to destroy me," he begged. I studied him like he was a fascinating insect. "I didn't destroy you, Marcus. You accomplished that the moment you brought Victoria into our home. I simply made sure the consequences matched the crime." He stepped forward desperately. "We can fix this. Counseling, therapy, whatever you want." My laughter was soft, bitter, final. "You shattered this marriage beyond repair. I just ensured the pieces cut both ways." The aftermath was beautifully swift. Victoria's husband, David Caldwell, Marcus's boss and company CEO, received the footage within hours. Marcus was terminated immediately. Victoria crawled back to David with fresh lies and empty promises. Meanwhile, I packed methodically, taking my car, my condo, thankfully in my name only, and my carefully protected savings. Marcus spent a week begging, another week cursing, then fell into defeated silence. I said nothing throughout his emotional theatrics. Earned silence speaks louder than screaming ever could. Friends questioned why I didn't rage, cry, or throw dramatic fits. But that's exactly what cheaters expect. Emotional chaos that makes them feel important. I refuse to give Marcus anything he expects ever again. Now I sleep peacefully in my new apartment, surrounded by silence instead of lies. No locked phones, no performance anxiety, no second-guessing my instincts. Marcus taught me something invaluable. How to recognize deception hiding behind loving eyes. I watched my world collapse on hidden cameras, then rebuilt it with my own hands, quietly, ruthlessly, exactly how Marcus never imagined I could. They say the best revenge is living well, but I disagree. The best revenge is watching someone destroy themselves while you document every moment. Justice served cold, with a side of evidence and a smile they never saw coming.